ไอ้หนุ่ม
Don't be scared. I just want to play a game with you.
Good evening, and welcome to the Haunt Hour. With your host, Dan Doble, Susie Fleesing, and Troy Cripple.
And Christopher
Join us tonight as we talk about all things haunting and Halloween during the Haunt Hour.
Whoa. Did you see that?
I hate you, Troy.
Did you see that?
I hate you.
Did you? Oh, wait. Do you not like
Clown music and spiders? You're gonna give you've basically set the mood for nightmares tonight. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anytime, Christopher. That's why we're best friends. So as you saw in my post, this is gonna be an unorthodox night considering it's Wednesday. That's number one. Number two, Dan Doble is filming a toilet.
What?
Yeah, he's filming a toilet.
Hopefully, it's not somebody on the toilet.
I think he's trying to do the whole. In Australia, they go the other way, and in America, they go the opposite way. I think he's trying to like debunk that or something. He's stuck on this science. I don't know, but he said his business, whatever he works for, obviously he works for Tidy Bowl or Mr.
Business on the toilet. Okay, I don't. Let's just move on. Let's just move on.
Well, to make it worse, Susie is drilling holes in balls. So
what?
I don't know what kind of people I keep here. But I don't know. I got all these messages like 30 minutes before the show, and Dan's like, I thought the show was last night. Did we have a show last night, Dan? Well, no. He goes, well, yeah, but I thought it was on Tuesdays. You're the one that wanted to move it to Wednesdays and then Mondays. So he's filming a toilet. She's drilling balls, and we have Christopher.
Yeah.
I
don't think it's a very fair trade-off.
For them, I mean, I'm the lucky one. I'm the lucky one because I get to spend time with you.
Oh, yeah, just pouring it on a little thicker, aren't you?
Well, no, that's compliment number one. Yes, this is a screwdriver. Compliment number one. Got it. All right.
Okay, very good.
74 more to go.
It's
gonna be a long
money well spent.
The check didn't clear.
Oh.
But my 12-foot skeleton did.
I mean, I'm just saying. So, good thing my wife doesn't watch this show.
My wife is standing right over here.
Oh, she's gonna message her, right?
I don't know.
Well, she's gonna find out when I go get the truck tonight and go get it here right after the show is over.
Dude, she knows. She's been watching your posts. She knows.
She knows that only a few people said no, that I shouldn't get it. And the rest of the people were true haunters, unlike you, Christopher, who cowered behind your wife and said you shouldn't, that I should go get it. And so, like a true haunter, I spent money that I didn't have and I now own a 12-foot skeleton. I don't know why, and I don't even know where I'm putting it. I don't even know where I'm putting anything this year. So
you've got a big enough front yard. You can put it. You got plenty of space.
I have basically it's 100-foot by 100-foot flat front yard. So I have plenty of room. Plus I have the side yard and the roof, and
I was just gonna say you could put it behind your house and people would see it standing behind your house.
There is actually a thought that because that was when I first saw them come out, I thought because I have a very flat I have a very straight roof and then it's pitched on both sides. So what I thought was that I would only need the torso and up, is that I would get Patricia. You are not Ashley's friend. I should get two. Are you sending me the other two?
Ashley's not going to be happy with you, Patricia.
Is that I would put him on the roof and then he would be leaning over the front of the roof. So I would just need from like the pelvis up. So I may not even need the legs. And I may still do that. Because
I'll tell you what would look cool is you gotta take a page out of Bob Quall's book and have it breaking through the roof. Like he did with the spider.
Okay, so me getting the 12-foot skeleton is going to have me on the couch for a couple of days. Me having it break through the roof gets me to live at your house.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
No,
If
you don't want to do
you
that.
come over and help me do it because I'm going to come live with you. So
Okay, sure.
yeah. Okay. All right. So yes, all of you who are getting all of your Home Depot stuff, I am excited. The Northwest just got all of their Home Depots to start setting up this week, so it has been a mad dash for several of the locals around here in the Northwest Hunters Association Facebook page. That's all we've been talking about. Is I know they're up there and I know they're down here, and this one doesn't have them yet, and so it's been quite the frenzy. So if you have been lucky enough to get what you need at Home Depot, I am happy for you. I know that some of the stores are not getting some of what the other ones have.
Yeah.
Like we're getting the man-eating plants over here, but I've heard I have a friend in Maryland who says he can't find one to save his life. But I also can't get the Inferno Reapers over here, the smaller 6-foot Reaper, Grim Reaper guy.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. They're not in any store over here, but they're over there on the East Coast. So I know that we've had lots of issues with all kinds of shipping delays and container
supply.
things.
Yeah, it's been pretty bad. Here in the Triangle of North Carolina, a bunch of the Home Depots, they've got all their stuff out, and they have some Inferno Reapers, and they've got a lot of the other items, but the 12-foot boys, yeah, they don't have them either. Somebody went in and they saw them up on the shelf and they got them down and sold them before they ever went out on the floor. Or they just never got them.
Yeah.
The one there's one local near me. They never got any of the 12-foot Inferno or the 12-foot skeleton because supply issues. They couldn't get them in. So
yeah. Well, and I mean, I don't know this about Home Depot yet, but I from hearing what I've heard from other people that when they've been talking to managers and employees and stuff, I know some employees are getting in trouble for selling stuff early. Managers are going in and saying no to somebody, and then they get mad, and then there's the customer's always right and all this kind of stuff. And I know that chances are, don't expect to be able to buy this stuff before it hits the floors next year. I have a feeling that they're either going to deactivate the SKUs until the day the floor is set, or they're going to have a new policy that you can't sell it before it's off on the floor. Just last night I went and they had all their stuff in the garden area. It was down off the racks, and Ashley went through a bunch of the pallets to get what I needed. So it wasn't me. But today I went out to the other garden section of the other Home Depot, and that's where I found the 12-foot skeleton and asked the guy if he was selling them yet. And he said, yes, we are selling them now. So I said, okay. So I have a feeling that it'll be a little more fair next year, and everybody will have to wait for them to hit the floor. So, but Home Depot definitely won, as we all know. I have the Celtic cross right there behind me. I'm super excited about that. And, so anyways, enough about Home Depot and myself and sleeping on the couch. Christopher, you were originally slated to be here for just the news. But now you're here for the whole evening. So
yeah,
what is your news, Christopher?
Well, as many of your viewers know, we run a little thing called the Home Haunter Award Show. Home Haunter Awards. And thank you, Troy. So what we've been doing is we've been debating and going over. We've had a lot of requests for different categories to be added to the show. To be added to the show, and they people want to enter in some something different. They may not do a prop, or they might not do a walkthrough, but they want some kind of a category. And while if we added all of these different categories, the show would be 4 hours long.
Yeah, right.
So we've gone through and we've kind of streamlined the categories a little bit. We've added some criteria to the website. Another request is hey, what kind of criteria are you looking for when you're judging the categories, and how do you judge the categories and stuff like that. So we've added a lot of information to the website. There's actually a new tab for the website called criteria. So if you click on that little button at the top of the page, it will take you to the judging criteria, the different categories, and what we look for and everything else like that. And a couple months ago, we announced that there was going to be a new category, and this category is actually going to be best costume. Now, when we say best costume, it's not only earmarked for those who do a costume at their haunt. There's a lot of people that they may not have a haunt at their house, but they dress up and they go to a party, or they go to haunt conventions and they create some really elaborate costumes for the haunt conventions and stuff like that. So if you create a costume that is used in a Halloween setting, a party, a Halloween convention, or actually at a haunt, you're more than welcome to enter in for that category. And in the the website that Troy is showing, there is the category criteria that we look for: originality, complexity, attention to detail, presentation, effort, and first impression. So what's our first impression of the costume when we see it? So,
would a costume on a prop, so let's say because I actually know somebody who custom made a costume for the 12-foot skeleton. They made a scarecrow costume, and they made it there out of their they did not buy it from Home Depot, which ironically they're selling costumes for it now. Would a costume that was made for a prop that they made,
and see, that's kind of thinking outside of the box, which is one of the things that we absolutely love. And if you see at the description, it says a new category we added this year is best costume. This category is open to anyone who makes a costume for their display, walkthrough, party, or just the occasional costume ball at a haunt convention. Doesn't say anything in there that it has to be worn by a person. So if you make a costume for a prop, by all means, enter it.
Yeah.
And as long as we can see the originality and all of the different criteria that we are going to judge on it, by all means. That's a very good that's a very good question. We like people who think outside of the box. I'll give you an example for the 12-foot skeleton category that we had last year. The winner of the best motorized prop, 13 Skeletons, actually had an entry into the 12-foot skeleton, but they didn't have that 12-foot skeleton. He literally took a bunch of 6-foot skeletons and created a 12-foot tower of skeletons. And submitted that. It said nothing in the rules or in the category that it had to be the Home Depot 12-foot skeleton. So he out thinking outside of the box, he entered that. And if memory serves me correctly, I think if he wasn't nominated, he was very close to being nominated. It was very close to being he was very close to be in there. So, but yeah, that's what we like to see. We like to see people that are thinking outside of the box and enter into the category in a way that you wouldn't think would be a costume or a 12-foot skeleton. So absolutely. And
so for the 12-foot skeleton, did we add something else to that one?
Well, there is no 12-foot skeleton. You see the categories there. It's best motorized, best pneumatic, best display, best static, best walkthrough, best overall, best haunt cycled, and best costume.
Are you saying you're going to announce another new category here?
Yeah. Yep. That was the other purpose of me being on the show today, is we're going to announce the final category, the 9th category. So technically, because we added the costume, it's yet another category.
Yeah.
It's the best 12-foot skeleton. But it's the best 12-foot skeleton pumpkin inferno. So best 12-foot skeleton, or best 12-foot skeleton / inferno. So take that with how you will. We've seen, Troy, I know you and I both have seen some amazing things being done to both the Inferno and the 12-foot skeleton. People out there corpsing it and just doing some amazing things. There was some guy last year that actually made it a walking puppet. He literally wore the thing on his back, and he created a walking puppet from it. But I know he didn't technically get to finish it, for the haunt season. Yeah, we want to see everything you guys do with the 12-foot skeleton, or the pumpkin inferno, or think outside the box. And if you can think of a different way to be technically, eligible for that category, go for it.
And when are we going to start accepting?
Submissions will be accepted after Halloween. It might not be like on November 1st, but it'll be within the first week of November. We will open up the website for accepting submissions. And just like it was last year, it's video submissions only. We have to have a YouTube link or a link to some kind of a cloud drive that we can access. And then we'll judge it. So if you just take pictures, you don't take any video, create a video slideshow and submit it that way. Upload it to YouTube. Make it an unlisted video, or upload it to a cloud drive and send us the link, or use that link as the submission. But yeah, so video submissions only. And one thing that we would like to request, we know a lot of people use their cell phones to take video, and a lot of them take video like this. Turn it. That's all we ask, is that if you turn it, you're going to see more of the item that you are submitting, you're taking a video of.
Yep.
Versus just this little sliver of video that we get. We're not saying that, if you videotape your haunt like this, we're not going to accept the submission. We'll still accept it, but just for continuity and everything, we like the video to be portrait, not or landscape, not portrait.
When you're talking about corpsing a skeleton, see?
Who's that?
That's Tristan.
Oh.
That's Living Nightmare Haunted House up in Soap Lake, Washington. He's actually out there in the desert, freaking with a heat gun.
Yeah, he's out there. He doesn't need a heat gun.
He doesn't. He can just let it sit out there.
Yeah, just let it sit out there. Exactly.
Yeah, because now he of course has both.
He has both, yes.
So yeah, so if you have both of these, do something awesome and show us on the awards. And these ones, obviously, you don't have to show us how you got them into the haunt and all that kind of stuff. Just show them, but that's one of my biggest things, is if you're showing us what you built, show us how it got to that point, and then show it to us in the haunt or the display, because that's one of the biggest things, is that we will end up either seeing all the progress pictures and then somebody puts it in front of their garage door and that's it, or they'll show us it just in the haunt. Now that's cool, and that's going to get better points than it being, there's good and bad to both. We love seeing the progress, but then I wanted to see what it looks like in the haunt, because it could have looked terrible, and then that would have lost you a lot of points, which maybe that's why you didn't show it in the haunt, But so we want to see it from start to finish, and what the public got to see as well, because we want you to be proud of it, and we want to see it. Plus, I want to steal all of your ideas, and that's the only way I can do that, is if I see it from start to finish.
No, we don't. No, Troy, we don't steal ideas. We are inspired by others.
No, all videos and submissions become property of Troy Crowell and Christopher Presley, LLC.
Oh, we have an LLC now? Well, no,
yes,
I didn't.
Yes,
I didn't sign up for that, so I don't know.
Well, your signature is easy to forge.
My wife would differ. Beg to differ. My wife would beg to differ.
It's probably chicken scratch. So I think other than that, awesome, great news. We're getting closer to the haunt season. I know it's September 8th. I know some haunts are going to start opening up here in the next couple of weeks. I know that there's a couple that have already started to open here and there. So if you're ready to get your haunt on, check out your local areas for all of that. I am personally sad to report that we had to cancel our Northwest Terror Tours this year again. We had 2 haunts that are closing due to issues with COVID and restrictions. And we had another one that was forcing vaccine cards and negative tests, and not all of our attendees would be able to adhere to that. So logistically and financially, it would be a nightmare to do this tour that way. So we have decided not to, but we will be back for next year, of course. But we're still going to go to haunted houses, the ones that are open, and we're going to support them. And I implore everybody else to support your haunted houses, as well as your home hunters. So we're all in this together, you know.
We're all in this. Wait, sorry. That's. Sorry, showing my inner Disney nerd. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyways, so
it's always a bad thing when I start singing.
Absolutely. So tonight we have a special guest with us tonight. We have Arthur Klock.
Here I am.
There he is.
Yay!
He is the creator of Irving's Nightmare in TerryTown, New York, right?
TerryTown, yeah.
TerryTown, all right. I almost typed it Teeny Town when I was making the description for tonight, and I had to go double check it because that would be weird.
It's definitely a teeny town. At all. It's actually right next to Sleepy Hollow, New York.
Oh, see.
So it's North Tarrytown is what was in 1996. They changed the name to Sleepy Hollow. So that's actually, so Irving Avenue is my street, and that's Washington Irving, who wrote The Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Wow. So. I was just going to ask you, why did you come up with the name Irving's Nightmare? Very cool. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and I will start running video of your older haunts, and then you can just basically tell us how you got into haunting, what your process is, and if you're are you married?
I am married.
Okay, so you'll have to tell us if your wife partner is into it, or if they hate it, because that's always
that would be.
Do we need to start a husbands club? Because that's
I think my wife tolerates is a better word than into it. She's understanding, and she's like, okay, I'll put this pumpkin on this shelf, but that's about as far as it goes.
Right.
So yeah. So when I moved here initially, I learned that we're moving to Tarrytown, New York. Oh, that's just south of Sleepy Hollow. So I thought initially, I'm like, oh, this place must be mobbed with trick-or-treaters. It must be crazy, all the time. And so the first year I went out and I bought a bunch of Halloween decorations with my first house. I was very excited. I had always loved Halloween as a kid. I remember doing a haunted house when I was a kid. It was a light with a curtain over it and stupid stuff, but that kind of thing. And then I was like, I'm gonna really decorate the house, and I decorated the house all up. I bought a bunch of candy, and we got 0 trick-or-treaters the first night. And I was like, how is this possible? This is Sleepy Hollow, New York. This must, and basically I decided that would not stand, and I started advertising, started decorating the house even crazier year after year, and just in an effort to get the people that are in Sleepy Hollow to come up the street a little bit to our area. Mm-hmm. And now I don't know if my neighbors probably hate me, because now we were inundated with trick-or-treaters, and it's one of the more popular trick-or-treating areas for Sleepy Hollow. So I think that started just basically not understanding why we didn't have any trick-or-treaters in the area. And basically I started the whole idea was because I lived in Irving Avenue, and I was into Sleepy Hollow kind of stuff. I was going to base the haunt on the works of Washington Irving. And initially, I aspired to what they call the 3-ring circus idea, which is basically that you have 3 main themes, and one is the main theme, and then you have 2 side themes every year. And I don't remember what haunt forum or something had that as an idea, and I thought that was a really cool idea. So it said, pick 3 things, and then you can rotate them. The main theme you work on And then so the three things that I came up with, I read through the works of Washington Irving, and everyone knows the Headless Horseman, the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. But his other book was there was one called Anecdotes of a Spider, which is basically him basically describing what a spider did in his room for a month, which is it doesn't sound that creepy, but it really is. He's like, and then it devoured a fly, and then it killed another spider, and it's kind of just a creepy thing. And then
I'm not reading that book.
Yeah. And then the local, and then there's Holdo the Witch, which is the Terrytown Witch. And Washington Irving wrote a bunch on the witches, and it was kind of a side story to the Legend of Sleepy Hollow story. She cursed the town. That's why the Headless Horseman exists and stuff like that. So I decided it was going to be the Headless Horseman, spiders, and witches. And that was the original kind of three themes that I did. And over the years, I got bored. And so now we have like clowns and other things that became themes. But it started out originally, those were the three things. I was going to rotate them and work on it one each year. And that was, it was supposed to be kind of like, Washington Irving never wrote anything about creepy clowns or anything like that. Right. That was the original idea behind it, was to have it was a Washington Irving themed thing. And I'm actually trying to get back to that thing. I'm going to rotate out the clowns and go back to those three main themes and work on them really hard. But that's the basics of, how I got involved in it. And we now get hundreds and hundreds of trick-or-treaters. So mission accomplished with regard to that.
Mm-hmm.
This was the walkthrough in 2018 of the spider. This was actually the first year that I think I really got a good reaction out of the walkthrough. The walkthrough the year before, people thought it was interesting. They came through. It was like the story of like Headless Horseman, but my props were like ahead. I actually had a pretty cool cannon prop that fired, but that was like the first prop that I ever made. But then people were like, okay. And then I did the spider theme next year, and people like lost their minds. Like it really blew up from there. Like I'm surprised how many people are scared of spiders. It was amazing.
Right.
They really do.
Hi, my name is Christopher.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah, go ahead.
So where does your does the walkthrough go all the way through like your side yard, your backyard?
Yeah, it's a good question. So my house is kind of weirdly designed in that my main door is actually on like the side of my house. So you drive down the driveway, and basically like you walk like 2 feet, and the side door is right there. And I have no garage. I'm a haunter that does walk through with no garage. So wow. I'm completely insane. So basically what I do is I set up a big tent, actually a series of kind of tents, and it goes down into the backyard, and basically then it turns and goes up onto my deck and then comes back out to the front of the house via kind of the thing. So I've created like, you stand in front of the house and you see, oh, here's a display over here, here's a display over there. What's in the middle? And they kind of, the trick-or-treaters have to come down, or whoever's there, just kind of come down. And as they get in, they get immersed by the other two displays on the side, and they come into the middle, and then there's a big facade in the middle in front of the tent, and then that's the entrance into the walkthrough. So you're basically, you have two displays and a walkthrough with every year.
That is very interesting. I've never heard of the whole 3-ring circus thing. That is super cool to be able to have, that challenges you because you have to do technically 3 different things. But I like the fact that you walk through the middle like that, and you have everything around you. That is definitely unique.
Yeah, it's a nice guy, and the good thing is that, I work really hard each year on the walkthrough.
Right.
And then basically the displays are just the coolest parts of the walkthrough get thrown up in a different configuration. I'm not going to say it's not a lot of work to do the displays, but it's definitely stuff that I already have built. Like I'm not, I'm just putting it up. I'm not, I'm not building anything for those parts.
Right.
This was Witches 2019.
Yeah.
And this was when I had to walk through Witch's Hut, which actually it's about here. It is, yeah. And this was a lot of work.
It looks cool though. I love it.
This was just, and one of the cool things is I live right across the street from it was a college. It was Marymount College, and their loading dock is right there. So I have easy access to pallets at all times. I just go across the street and I just get pallets, and then when I'm done with them, I literally bring them back and put them back where they were. and the guys come up, they're like, "Why are all these pallets broken?" and there's screws in them.
Right.
But yeah, so I do a lot of stuff with pallets. I mean, they just have them right across the street.
No, pallets are a haunter's friend.
Yeah,
right.
It definitely, especially with lumber getting more pricey and stuff, that pallets definitely help out.
Yeah,
I did it one year where we ended up renting like a flatbed trailer to get all the pallets for our walkthrough, and at the end I took them all to a place that actually bought them from me. So I got them for free, and I got like $3 per pallet back. And the ones, oddly enough, the ones they wouldn't take are the Costco pallets, and those are the big, like blue thick ones that have like the 4x4s or like the like 6x6 blocks that are in there. They wouldn't take those at all. So I was like, I don't know what to do with all these pallets. So I just drove them back to Costco and did exactly what you did. I just dropped them back off again.
Put them back where you got them from.
It was at night though. It was at night. I was probably on camera, but that's fine. But yeah, I was like, so whenever I hear somebody say I want to use pallets, I'm like, before you go get pallets, go and maybe search around your area for a place that will buy them from you. Because we all see those trucks that are on their last literal bolt that have all these pallets strapped to them, and they're jostling down the road. So they're going somewhere. So follow one and then find out where they're selling their pallets, and then you can make some money off of it.
The just getting rid of them can be its own nightmare. I mean, just trying to do it, but yeah, I mean that's the fun part of it. The other fun stuff about that location is just the school. It used to be a college, but now I don't know if you guys know what the EF school is, but the EF school is it's English first, basically. So it's kind of a foreign exchange program school. So all these kids come here from different countries, and they all are here to learn English and stuff like that. But they all stay at the dormitories of the old college. So a lot of these kids have never experienced Halloween in their lives, and they're all like maybe 16, 17, 18 years old. And they come over and they're like, what is this? Like they have no idea why I'm doing this. They're totally confused. They've never experienced, they've heard about scary things. They've heard about what Halloween in like passing, but they've never experienced it. And when they go through the haunted house, they lose their minds. Some of the best reaction videos are of these kids who have never been through a haunted house before and are, older kids. And usually, like, the best ones are like these big, huge Russian guys who are like, oh, I'm Russian, I drink vodka. And then they go through and they're just like, ah! Like, the first thing they see, and they lose their minds, and just because they have no concept of what a haunted house is.
Yeah.
Like, and when things start popping at them, and I love the reaction videos every year. Make me laugh hysterically for hours. Anytime I'm having a bad day, I'll pull up the scare reaction video.
Scare footage, yeah.
Yeah, it just makes me laugh.
So I guess you could call yourself like the ambassador of like the U.S. ambassador to Halloween for these
Halloween, yeah. for the EF school. Well, I thought it was funny because at first it started the EF school, and then I found out, like, I went on EF's like website one day, And I found out they were using like stuff from my like kids like videos from my haunt in their promotional stuff. They're like, yeah, like you can experience this. Like,
Wow, that
I
is
thought it was-
cool.
I thought it was really just so funny that they came through. It started going into the promotions. So I try and I make a scare compilation video every year, which I think these are the funniest things when like people just just losing their mind.
Yeah, I watched the walkthrough with that very first part of your haunt when they first walk in, and it's that first pneumatic prop that comes out.
Yeah.
I mean that would get me.
Yeah. I put a lot of time into like trying to disorient people and then trying to scare from like the back or from the side.
Yeah.
I have a lot of like bushwhacker type props which open up and then something pops out. Mm-hmm. And they definitely do a good job there. This was last year, and this definitely, the lighting got so much better this year. And I think also I upgraded my phone, so this was some of this is just,
and he filmed it sideways.
And I filmed it sideways.
See, everybody, this is what
I
it looks
have
like
to say, the new iPhone really takes excellent night video.
It does. It does. That is awesome.
Now, did you use LED lighting with your upgraded, or was it flood lighting, or?
So I'm using mostly. I love fire and ice lights.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my favorite. You can see a lot of the swirling there. But I use a lot of different angles on the lighting. So especially with the spider webs, I love to light them with blue and purple. Mm-hmm. And I put the purples at 45 and the blues at like 90, and it really creates a nice effect on the lighting. This was a nightmare wrapping those pool noodles in that fluorescent tape. But this was all like UV lights and everything that was in there. Those were just basically just bulbs hanging from the ceiling, and I got some of those disco lights. And they, it came out really nice. Every year, I think this can't possibly be as good as last year. Right. Last year was so good, and then every year I'm like, oh no, it was better. So I'm hoping that this year will come the same.
And do you have any scare actors that actually work in there as well, or is it all
believe it or not, I have
animatronic?
0 actors. It's a 100% mechanized haunt. So everything is on motion sensors, everything like that. I would love to have scare actors in there. I don't think I've been doing it long enough to have, I tell people, like I ask my friends, I'm like, hey, you want to come over and scare people in a haunted house? And they all look at me like I'm a crazy person.
Until they do it, you've got to tell them until you do it. That first scare, you'll be hooked.
Yeah, I'd love to do it, but so far it has been. And the nice thing is, it is 100% automated. So I literally sometimes I'm like, all right, I take my kids trick or treat, and I'm like, have at it, like go ahead through. I don't have to be there. I can put out a bowl of candy and go and take my kids trick or treating, and it runs itself. So usually I stand out front and give kind of a spiel outside and kind of set the mood, and I do the harbinger role, try and just like the doom, the guy in the gas station who's like, don't go up that hill, role, but usually that's how it goes.
I thought for a second there that one window, just as it was panning around, because I noticed that you have a lot of Atmos effects, digital displays all throughout the haunt, and right here, just where you kind of start getting around to the corner, and I'm guessing that's your wife and your kid. Yeah, right there. I thought, whoa, what Atmos?
That's actually new for Atmos effects, new for 2021. Family responsibility.
Yeah, that is
It's the most terrifying.
That is the most terrifying video. Family responsibility. Yep.
That or a visit to H&R Block.
Electricity bill comes.
Right. I still, no matter how much we joke about this, nobody has yet to do a tax haunt, a paying bills, we all joke, what's the scariest thing? And it's like budgeting or haunted occurrence or something, and nobody does it yet.
Well, I do have this year. I don't want to give too much away, but I do have a room this year that I'm calling the OSHA non-compliance room. It's just electricity and radioactive barrels, and just like the ocean inspector came through. It's like, what is happening in this room?
Yeah, I just recently had to change the kitchen faucet. That's what I did over the weekend, and I literally had to demolish the old faucet just to get it to remove it and to be able to install the new one. And I'm telling you, if somebody walked me into a room and said, "Okay, here, now you have to change the kitchen faucet," I'm like, "I'm out. See ya."
Yeah, the horror of just responsibilities.
I know, it's just horrible.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm in full build mode right now, and we're having it's coming along. I'm really interested to see what happens. This is the first year. Have you guys seen the Hauntivator that Grave of the Groves did? It was a haunt, like an elevator.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and it was like I'm stealing that concept. It's not an elevator. It's basically like a room, and it's going to be a whole pre-show room. And the room is they're going to come into the room. There's going to be a video on the screen. I think that I'm going to be on the video. I don't know how exactly it's going to work, but as I'm talking, there's a containment break at the laboratory. I'm like, oh, welcome. This is our tour of the thing. And then literally things are going to happen in the video. And it's going to, if it works properly, be synced up to different things in the room. So things will fall off the wall. Electricity will start sparking out of things. Fog will start coming out of the room. So it's basically the room of doom, I'm calling it. And hopefully it works well. But that's what I've been spending the majority of this year working on. It's just this room of doom.
And see, what absolutely amazes me every year is that, the effects that you're talking about is what you would see in some professional haunts. I mean, even theme park style haunts, and you're doing this out of your house.
Yeah. I'm making everything from scratch because I can't afford anything.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
I make it all from scratch. I mean, I make even like the prop controllers. I use like the Octobanger things, and I make those buckets of those. And the only thing I don't rig is like pneumatic pistons and things like that. But I buy the cheapest ones I can find on eBay, and it's as time goes on, I find that I have less and less time, and I'm buying more and more stuff. And I try and make it myself, but as time goes on, I run out of time to do everything I want to do, and I start buying stuff. But that's the idea.
I was actually going to ask you if you made, because I saw that you had several pneumatics in there, and if you made those pneumatics or not.
Most of them I've made. Some of them. It varies. Like some of them are bought mechanisms. The mechanism, I'm a terrible welder. I am just an awful at it. Every weld I do is just like it falls apart. So sometimes I'll buy the steel mechanism, or I'll have it fabricated by somebody. Just because my welds are just, I'm worried something's gonna fly off and hit somebody in the head with my welds. So I usually. But then I build out the arms of the prop and all that kind of stuff. It's, all the secondary stuff. But the main mechanisms, a lot of times I'll buy those.
Okay. So was the I saw on your walkthrough the Pennywise prop that had its hand out? Was that something you built, or was that a store bought?
That's a spear prop. That was I don't know. It's not a very common one. I got that at the weirdest thing, which was. It was a Halloween yard sale, which I was like, what is this? And it was like the next town over. And I'm like, what is this? And advertisements popped up on Facebook for it. And it was literally a guy that had like a prop factory, like a prop rental place. And he was like clearing out all his own stuff. And I was like, can I come every year? And he was like, yeah, take all this $100. And I was like, oh, for all this? He was like, yeah, I don't know. I just want it out of here. And I was like, yeah, for sure. $100. That sounds good.
Wow.
Well, there you go.
So
yeah, my wife always has alerts on her for Facebook Marketplace, and it says, Halloween. So she'll send me something, be like, well, this person's giving away all this stuff, and so then I go on their thing, and I'm like, I don't know you, and you have all this stuff. Why weren't you in our association? Why, but of course they're selling everything. So now they're not going to be in it anymore. So then I always talk to them. I'm like, hey, if you want to get rid of this stuff to people who actually use it and not just random, weird people on the street, you can sell it in our association. And, and then we've had one person where they were going to sell all their stuff. And then they went to go on the association to do it. And they saw what other people were doing and they stopped.
Yeah.
They were like, no, you know what? I'm seeing what you guys are doing, and I think I want to keep going. And so I'm sure that person spent the night on the couch too. But it's so interesting to find those things online that when you see somebody who's selling all those things. I mean, I've gotten tons of skeletons that way, fog machines and all kinds of stuff. It's But you're like, where were you? They're like around the corner, and you're like, what?
Right. Well, that always baffles me. I'm like, how could you be like you're the next town over? How did I not? You rent Halloween props, and you live down the block, and I don't know who you are. Like, how is that possible?
Yeah.
So I mean, but it's really just starting just like around Christmas time. I do Christmas, and then I go online, I start seeing things. I want everything. And I'm like, can't afford everything. So I'm like, well, what can I build that would be similar to this?
Mm-hmm.
So I started out with like, shiatsu motors and that kind of stuff. And then worked my way up to pneumatics. And now it's amazing what you go online, you go on some of these YouTubers, they spend, I can't imagine, it takes me so long to build this stuff. I can't imagine like being like, oh, before I like do this next thing I'm going to build, I'm going to set up an entire video system to video it at the same time. I'm like you don't have enough to do. You're going to like video document the entire thing. Like it amazes me that people put that much effort into it, but I so appreciate it because I've learned so much from watching the videos.
I've tried to do that too, but the problem is like I don't want to do it when I'm first building the prop. I want to do it afterwards because during the first time I'm going to make so many mistakes, but I'm going to learn from those and I can put that into my video. So I'll make the first one, and the first one came out okay. I've learned my mistakes. I'm going to go through to make the next one, and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have time. I got to start making this one, and then I got to start making this one, and by then I'm just like, screw it.
Ones I've seen have been the ones where people are like, it's not working. Why is it not working? And then they find the solution, and it's like, I'm like, oh, that was the same thing that was happening with me. They solved the problem.
Yeah, it's actually good to leave mistakes in there because chances are the person that you're showing is probably making the same mistakes because I mean we're all doing it kind of for the first time, and that's what I was gonna say. It was kind of like a little insider baseball. Is that I'm actually in the process of editing together a how-to of these skeleton arm lantern holder sconces that would go like on like a pillar. And so what I did was I made the first one and I started jotting down. I've got all my notes about how what tools I used and the lengths and widths and all that kind of stuff. And then I made the prop. I did it from start to finish. And while I was filming the how-to on the second one, because I needed to build two, so I knew that I was already going to make a second one, I noticed about 3/4 the way through, I should have painted the board first, because now it was harder to paint it after everything was on there. And so in my video, I actually say, I'm going to put a disclaimer on the front to paint the board first, but I'm not going to go make another one, But there's a lot of us who will make two of them. And the first one we're making to make sure it works. And then the second one is the one we're filming. But generally, like Christopher said, we will find halfway through that we need to fix something. Or sorry, you said that, that something doesn't work the second time through and things like that. So, but yeah, I mean, how-tos on YouTube, it is one of the coolest things I think to come out of haunting, especially for me. you know, is being able to have all these people, you know, like all, you know, somebody will say, how do you make a coffin? And I'll be like, you literally can just search on YouTube DIY coffin or prop coffin, and you'll get a day's worth of videos that you can watch, you know, and it's from way beyond your, you know, your level and even below your level, you know. So everybody, there's a DIY level for everybody in there. So, but also things like what you're doing, where you're showing your video, that helps too, you know. So you know, it may not be a how-to
product. Definitely, I think I get a lot of comments on people that you know, they just are. I tell people all the time, like, message me. I'm willing to help you. I can definitely explain what I did.
Yeah.
But, you know, as far as, you know, do it, but all things. Anyone has spider questions that I can definitely tell you.
Yeah, you're definitely a spider guy for sure.
Oh man, I have so much spider stuff. I can't even. It's ludicrous.
Yeah, you do.
The spider victims, are those handmade or are those store bought?
Which one? This guy? This was one of my first really good pneumatic props, and that is based off of like a pneumatic one. Poison Props make something similar, but this is all like, it's a shiatsu motor in there.
Oh yeah,
and it's that's actually a 4-banger. Yeah, there's and I had to rig that to make it kind of jankety like that. It was very smooth in the beginning. It would, and so as so I didn't want them to just like, oh, I wanted them to be like, oh God, get these spiders off me. So I had to like kind of mess up the mechanism to make it work that way. And it would jam a lot. I mean, that was one of the things. I'd come through the haunt. That's I do my haunt for 5 days. So,
oh, wow.
So things like, you know, by the third day, things are like sometimes falling apart. I have to go take them apart and fix them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I was gonna say, because it's a really like right at where the posts go up. Those are caster wheels without the wheels.
Correct. Yeah.
I love that. That is so cool.
Yeah, I took the caster out and I'm using it as a fulcrum there. So it's just casters. I took the wheels out and I just put wire across, and I greased up those poles, and they just kind of slide in and out. So but it's, you know, I tell you, old school electronic motor props if they're made right, they can really get a good scare. You got to time them right. Pneumatics is easy. You hit the switch, the thing pops out. It's easy. But an old school electronic prop, if you get it just right, it can get just as good a scare off of oh my gosh, this is old.
I like going back.
This is like 2015. I built a giant spider for the roof. That was a nice one. The witch, that was a bought prop, but I heavily modified it. New voice.
Yeah,
prop.
I was gonna say it looked familiar, but it wasn't the same one that I've seen before.
Right.
So
correct. Like that's the other thing. I like to buy things and then modify them up, because, you know, things. Good. The basic mechanisms are nice. The spider popping up. I mean, but the sound that comes off of it and like how it pops is terrible. So you rip it apart, you pull the wires out, you rewire it and make it work the way you want. And I feel like that's just as DIY as something else. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you didn't make it from scratch, but it's still pretty good. This was my idea of an amazing head falling off the headless horseman. I was very early in the process. But I love that.
But I love that it's not like, and this may sound wrong, but I love that it's not like super polished. Like it is the epitome of a home haunter. It's like, this stuff looks cool to me. It took me a while to build. I love how it looks, and it's just, you know, and it, you know, you can see a lot of passion.
I carved each one of these out. I mean, these are foam pumpkins from Michael's. I bought them just because I had this spirit Halloween popper, and I was like, oh, that's cool. It pops up at the hay bale. but it doesn't do any good if it's just one pumpkin sitting there. So I had to build 30 other pumpkins so that when one pops up, it freaks you out. So
Yeah, and typically, and typically the stuff that's not very well polished, it creates a better atmosphere than something that really is polished. Because like for me, if I go through and I go to an amusement park that has a a haunted house, I'm not going to mention any names, but the makeup is on point, and the scare actors, they're doing their thing, and you're walking through and you're just looking at all the detail and everything else like that. Yeah, it's okay, but you can tell it's it's very well polished, and it's done up real well. When you go to some place and you look around and you go, oh my gosh, this thing looks like it's about to fall apart, or and it's supposed to made to look that way, but it's extremely sturdy. But just because it doesn't have that polished effect to it, it's like, wow. I mean, this is really good. Or you walk around, like I said, you walk around where you're not expecting some kind of pneumatic prop to be, and it just shoots out because hey, it doesn't look like there's supposed to be something here, and boom, there it is. Whereas you go to one place that's polished and you go, oh, look at that little place over there that looks like the perfect spot for yep, there it is. It jumped out at you.
You can walk by and go, something's gonna come out of there. And then
I love my bushwhacker prop because I usually just stick it in the bushes, and people are like, "Oh, look, some bushes," and then a skeleton pops out of it. And but it's perfectly hidden because it's in bushes. Yeah. So I mean, no one's gonna put a prop in the bushes except for a home haunter. Like it's like, well, we'll just scrape these pine needles off here afterwards. It's fine.
Yeah. So, what do you use for your scare cams?
So I usually use just GoPros, and I stick them up in there and do that. I just did purchase a system this year, so we're gonna try it out and see. I have a security system. Oh, okay. So we'll see. I'm gonna try and get more because I the Go.
I was gonna say he was starting to click. He was starting to glitch out.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh, we'll see if
there he is. And he's back.
So the GoPros do a good job, but I only have 2 of them. Okay. And they're battery operated. You got kind of fun, pull them down every night, recharge them, and pull the videos off. So I'm hoping that if I put the actual, it'll just cut my work at the end of the night. Remember, I do 5 nights, so at every night I gotta pull stuff down. I gotta shut everything off. Yeah.
Now, are these gonna be blacklight security cameras so that you can see in the dark?
Yes.
So, okay. Let me give you a word of advice. What you can do is wherever you have your cameras set up, if you take a light reflector like you get from Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, they're like $7, and you get a blacklight incandescent bulb. It's not really blacklight, but they label it as such because it's not on the full blacklight spectrum, but it's almost there. If you put those 2 things together and put them near your camera, it acts as a booster to the visible light that the camera can pick up.
Where does the reflector go?
You put the light bulb inside the reflector.
Oh, inside the reflector. I got you.
Yeah, like that. So you put the light bulb in there, and then you just and then you just position that near the camera so that it's shooting out.
So even though it's not giving off light, but it helps the light.
Yeah, exactly. Because the IR filter isn't there, it's not filtering out any black light. It's not filtering out any UV or infrared. It's because also because it's not true ultraviolet. The infrared cameras pick it up like it's visible light.
Okay.
And it's actually something I used to do as a paranormal investigator. And putting these what I would call the blacklight boosters in rooms, so it didn't mess with your eyes too much when you were in the room, but it was a a cheaper alternative than going the full IR light, the IR lights and stuff like that. But yeah, if you're going to be using any kind of infrared cameras, use the incandescent blacklight bulb and a reflector. Create a blacklight booster, and you'll give off a little bit of a purple glow that's visible in your haunt, but your cameras are going to pick it up like it's bright light.
All right, cool. That'll be super helpful.
Because I believe, Christopher, that you even have a video on it, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good gosh. This was what is this? 2016? Yeah. Yeah. So see in the video here, I'm going dark, and I'm using two different infrared cameras. Or actually, I'm using two different cameras. One is just a regular camera. The other one is my infrared camera that I used for paranormal investigating. It was an infrared camera. So, yeah. So see there is the blacklight, the one with the blacklight booster.
Wow.
And the other one is just the infrared LEDs that were on the camera. So essentially in the video, I'm doing the same thing on both videos, but you can see with the blacklight booster, you can see me a lot better in all of my glory.
I actually before I really knew Christopher really, really well, and I had met him and everything, I had watched this video, and I did this in one of my haunts a couple of years ago. And it was the one where it was the witch's hut, or no, it was even before that. And I had the camera in the corner, and then I had that bulb next to it, and it did exactly what he said. So it definitely does work, and it's super cheap. I have money.
I probably have blacklight bulbs somewhere. So
$8, and actually what I was trying to demonstrate was using a dashboard camera as a haunt camera, or as a scare capture camera.
I've used those before, and I could not get it to work.
Well, they only hold so much, like you said, you still have to bring them down, and those you have to power. So so they're not batteries. So you do have to bring power up to wherever.
My original thing that I tried to use those before, and I got no videos, and then I switched to GoPros. Yeah. The GoPros do a good job. They have a nice wide angle lens.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
they do a good level. I just, the problem is that I'm always I'm on my phone trying to see what people are doing in because again, I'm out front. I go in, and then I'm I want to see them get scared. And I'm messing with the settings, and I'd much rather have a monitor that I could watch the whole time.
Right.
And make sure that because it's just me, so I want to make sure no one's falling or something's going on in there. If I hear horrible screaming going on, I'm well, that seems appropriate, but also somebody could be horribly hurt in there. So I'd like to be able to see what's going on in the haunt at the same time. So I think the system will work better.
Nice.
But
Christopher, I have a question for you, Christopher.
I have an answer.
What happened? What happened to you?
It's called two kids.
I hear you there.
The family responsibilities,
right?
Again.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Totally got to make that haunt.
And I'm married too, so
not for long.
Right.
We're gonna start a new Elks Club. It's gonna be the haunt husbands club.
The haunt,
yeah. Yeah, my wife.
Our own commune.
My wife says she's an October widow.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is plenty of club of those. Yep. Yeah. Yep. There's plenty in that group. But they love us all the same. But see, I have the ability to blame all of this on my wife, because I did not like Halloween before I met her. I remembered that when I was a kid, I acted at my school haunted house, and then I stopped because I found girls and social life, and then I got a jobs, and it was stupid. Halloween's for kids, whatever, is stupid. And then she was like, no, because I did tons of Christmas stuff, and I always have. And so she was like, you should go down in the basement. Now, mind you, this was a month after we got married, because we got married in September, and by October, she was telling me to go down to the basement to work on stuff. I probably didn't get the hint, but so she was like, you should go down and build something. And so I did. And then this all happened. And so it's her fault. So she can't be an October widow because she's the reason that we do all this. But
I desperately wish my wife would be more, just a little more interested in it. Like, I'll bring up something. I'm like, look what I made. This is amazing. She's like, yeah, it moves. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I'm glad I don't have a wife that goes, how much did that cost?
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. No, that was just today. And that was
today.
Just besides the point.
Breaking news.
I make a lot of my own stuff. So
breaking news: AMC stock up 9,000% tonight. 12 Skeletons depreciating rapidly.
I'm looking forward to that happening because I need that to happen. I have a bunch of shares, so I'm good. I can sell a couple, and I still have plenty. But I need to.
Made me laugh.
I'll be fine.
Selling AMC to buy 12 Skeletons. If there ever was a meme.
Yeah.
I think that's, and honestly, when I get it put up, I'm gonna put it because I'm in a couple of AMC groups. Yeah. I am absolutely going to take a picture of it and go, look what 5 shares of my AMC stuff.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
So, if I am not on the show next week, it is because I had to sell all my electronic equipment, and I don't live here anymore. And
no, if you're not on the show next week, it's because Dan finally looks at this and goes, you know what? Chris is a much better host.
Honestly, we have said several times now, because Dan, this is the second show that Dan has not been on, and this is the second show that Susie hasn't been on. And when Susie wasn't on the other week, I said we had our highest ratings ever, but not as high as the week that Dan was gone. And so, that Dan, yeah. And so now I get to tell them both we had higher ratings with neither of them here.
And me.
And it's because
Arthur. Arthur.
Someone's going to bring in the ratings. It's
right. If anybody's
really never
been
on YouTube before.
Yeah, that's right.
His face. This is the world premiere.
That's right. This is a whole new show. It's the Haunt second hour. It only lasts 10 minutes because that's all the time we have.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's see. Next week, I probably should have looked to see because now our schedule's all kind of messed up. Oh, no, I do know who's on next week. We have Rob Beach from Chicago, as well as Mike Uzembek from Hallucinations Creations. Mike.
Hey, that name sounds familiar.
Like DJ Mikey?
No, like fantastic, phenomenal sponsor of the award show last year.
Oh, look at that segue that Christopher made. Look at you. He was a sponsor. You're right. Right. Did his check clear?
His check cleared, yeah.
Oh, mine did not. Okay, good. All right.
No, yours, yeah. TerryTown's not so much.
There, TerryTown. I sent all those awards out to other people.
Well, that's true.
Oh, look at my wife got from Spirit out of the grab bags. Ooh, she went and squished them all. Okay. So we have them on next week because Mike makes a bunch of props and then he puts them in Rob's haunt to see how they work, and then he sells them afterwards. And so, like I said, this is an unorthodox show. So thank you, my wife. I have to take all this abuse because in 10 minutes we're gonna leave and go pick up something at Home Depot that is waiting at will call.
What?
Well, it's going to take us half an hour to get there. But anyways, so Arthur, thank you very much for coming on. Short notice too. Thank you. I honestly, I had you down for next year because I have so many home haunters that I want to get on this show, and you are slated for next year. And I think I'm going to keep you on for next year. So you'll be back and you'll need to
show us. If the Room of Doom comes well, I think people will want to see it.
Yes, I would love to see that. Chances are probably what we're going to do is everybody that was on this year, we want to have them come back because we want to see what they do. And we're probably going to start probably in February again. We have like 3 or 4 more episodes, and then we're going to take a break through Christmas and Halloween, and probably come back in late January, February, and so
I would like everybody to notice that he put Christmas before Halloween, so we know which one is truly more important to him.
Well, okay, to be honest, I just came up with the idea today that, well, not today, but the last couple days, that I'm actually leaving up my entire haunt for Christmas this year, and I'm gonna, because usually I take down all of the tombstones and I put up skeletons and Christmas trees. I'm just going to deck out the whole graveyard in Christmas and put the
garland around everything and call it a day.
Yeah, see,
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
then I don't have to put anything away for 3.5 months.
That's smart.
I know, right. So, yes, thank you, Arthur, for coming on. You have a great haunt. We can't wait to see what you do this year. I'll be following you. I'm subscribed. Christopher didn't subscribe, so
I am subscribed.
And Christopher, thank you for bailing out Toilet Man and Ball Driller.
Ball driller.
Ball Driller. Just got their nicknames for next week. That's great. Thanks for filling in and giving us the news about the categories.
Filling in, yes, filling in.
Hey, I'm right there with you. So, I guess that's it. I guess we're done for today.
Hey, excellent way to end the show.
We're done. We're done.
We're done.
We're done. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Everybody have a good night. And we'll see you on the next one.